Hi guys, it's Mrs. Magana here. I just wanted to give you another art lesson because I know we haven't done some for a while. I've been busy on my Seesaw account for my own students, and I thought why not post this week's lesson on YouTube and give a little tutorial. So here it goes. Today we're going to talk about an art piece that is inspired by an artist named Reggie Laurent. And Reggie Laurent lives in Atlanta, Georgia, so in the United States, and is currently working, so that means he's contemporary, as an artist. Now, Reggie's pieces involve shape, okay? Now, shape could be two ways in art. We could have it geometric, which he talks a lot about as having triangles, squares, even circles in his art. Then, there's another kind, geometric, or we just talked about geometric, organic are ways, I always call them wiggly or squiggly shapes, things that you cannot name. Now in my picture, my organic shapes with a wiggly squiggly line, it's actually in the background. I used only geometric shapes in the inside here. Here we go. Now for this picture, you will need paper. I used color paper scraps, but I have a couple of ideas. You could just use plain copy paper, and coloring into your shapes with markers, crayons, anything you might have. I even happen to have some oil pastels. I also have colored pencils, okay? So it doesn't have to be the way I show you. There is more than one way to do this. Now, for Reggie's own art, he paints his background with white shapes on a black canvas. So a little bit different, right? For ours, I'm going to use white. And then I have colored paper scraps that I ended up cutting into my shapes. Okay? So as I'm going along here, I actually also need glue. So I'm going to take my shapes that I've cut just with the scissors, again, organic, wiggly squiggly, or geometric, your math class shapes, okay? And as I glue them down, I kind of randomize where I put them. I think about where the colors that I'm placing them go. So if I have an orange, do I want to put another orange shape right next to it? Probably not. Then I'm adding green. I even have red, up to you. Again, remember my plan B. If you don't have colored paper, you could colorize your own paper. You could draw your shapes in pencil, color them in. A lot of different things could work. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm gluing these down, and I kind of glue them close to each other. Do you see that? So it's not so far apart. The background on Reggie's pieces, if you actually click on him on Google, you can tell he actually incorporates a lot of different little line designs with paint. So Reggie Laurent is actually a painter. Now, as soon as I get done gluing my shapes, give it a little bit of time to dry. Then I kind of have some fun. I brought my markers out to color inside of each shape, and I sort of thought about what color I'd want to do. For instance, green, I used a different green shade to get inside of my line, okay? So as I'm coloring in, I sort of followed that triangle shape there. And the rectangle, I used red. It was sort of hard to see, but I kind of liked that effect. I kind of liked it where it was a little bit tricky to notice the detail I used. Now in this shape, this geometric triangle, I added a lot of different lines, but with the color blue. Blue and orange are opposite, so it sort of makes my art pop. Then, my last step, I took Sharpie and I drew all these sort of wiggly squiggly lines in my background to make it look a little more interesting. Now I could go a step farther and color in some of those lines. I could leave it black and white. I like that difference. So artists also like something called contrast, where it's different. So it's a difference between light and dark. This one's obvious. Very colorful, right? the black and white background. So again, this is a Reggie Laurent collage, I would call it. And Reggie's most famous thing that he does is use shape. Thanks, guys.